Rachel Zegler was once celebrated as Hollywood's rising star, but now her name sparks heated debates online. From her bold comments on Snow White to her political statements, she found herself at the center of cancel culture chaos, dividing fans and critics alike. How did this all spiral out of control?
I mean, the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her. Weird. So we didn't do that this time.
While the fairest one of all the controversy surrounding Rachel Zegler's casting Snow White is a fascinating and polarizing chapter in Hollywood's ongoing conversation about diversity and representation when Disney announced that Zegler, a talented young actress of Colombian descent, would star as the iconic princess in the live-action remake of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. It immediately sparked a whirlwind of reactions. For some, it was an exciting step forward, a chance to reimagine a beloved classic with a modern inclusive lens. For others, it was an affront to tradition, with critics arguing that Zegler's ethnicity didn't align with the fair-skinned raven-haired image of Snow White from the original 1937 animated film.
There are actors, dwarf actors, that dream to be in a major motion picture such as this Disney remake. And now, because Peter Dinklage said what he said last year, now it's taken.
We've seen this kind of uproar before, haven't we? Remember the debates over Halle Bailey as Ariel in The Little Mermaid? Just like that situation. Zegler's casting ignited heated online debates. Detractors took to social media questioning why Disney would choose someone who didn't physically resemble the Snow White they grew up with. Some even accused Disney of prioritizing wokeness over staying true to the source material. It was the kind of backlash that made headlines everywhere and turned Zegler's casting into a lightning rod for opinions about Hollywood's attempt at inclusivity.
And the people who it seems to me have really suffered in all this are the 6 dwarf actors who would have expected to have roles in this remake in a massive Hollywood blockbuster, who are now not going to have that experience, or the money, or the fame that may have come with that. What is your response to that?
But Zegler didn't stay silent through all of this. In fact, she handled the criticism head-on, responding with a mix of grace and determination. She reminded people that Snow White is, above all, a fictional character. Her focus, she said, was on bringing the essence of Snow White, her kindness, courage, and heart, to life rather than simply trying to mimic the animated version. Zegler also pointed out that the original story, rooted in German folklore, had already been reimagined countless times. Why shouldn't the 2025 version reflect the world we live in today?
For her comments, but it's definitely not the smartest marketing move ahead of this film.
No, I mean, it's a great strategy putting out your leading actress to go ahead and piss off half of the American population and potentially causing a huge backlash.
This controversy also opened up a bigger conversation about what it means to adapt classic stories for modern audiences. Some people argued that fairy tales like Snow White should remain untouched, preserving their historical and cultural origins. Others, however, felt that updating these stories with diverse casting and new perspectives was not only refreshing but necessary to keep them relevant. After all, shouldn't every child see themselves represented in the stories they love? In interviews, she described the classic tale as creepy and went so far as to label the prince a stalker. Zegler pointed out that the original film's portrayal of romance felt outdated, especially the prince's sudden appearance and immediate romantic interest in Snow White. She remarked, "There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her. Weird. These comments didn't sit well with everyone. Many fans of the original film felt that Zegler's remarks showed a lack of respect for a cherished classic. Some accused her of promoting a pseudo-feminist agenda by dismissing the traditional love story, arguing that she was imposing modern sensibilities on a timeless fairy tale. Critics expressed their displeasure on social media, with one person stating there is nothing wrong with a fictional fantasy fairy tale. The backlash highlighted a broader debate about how modern adaptations should handle classic stories. While some appreciate updates that reflect contemporary values, others feel that such changes can undermine the original's charm and intent. Zegler's critiques intended to shed light on the evolution of storytelling and averly sparked discussions about the balance between honoring tradition and embracing progress. In addition to her critiques of the original film, Zegler had been vocal about her political views, which have also stirred controversy. She expressed support for Palestine, notably sharing a Free Palestine message on social media. This stance led to calls for boycotts from individuals who disagreed with her position, arguing that her views were inappropriate for someone in her public role. The situation escalated further following the 2024 U.S. presidential election in a moment of frustration. Zegler posted on Instagram expressing a desire for Donald Trump and his supporters to never know peace. This incendiary comment drew significant backlash, with critiques accusing her of promoting division and intolerance. The uproar was substantial, with some even demanding her removal from the Snow White project, recognizing the impact of her words. Zegler issued a public apology. She acknowledged that she had let her emotions get the best of her and expressed regret for contributing to negative discourse. She stated, "I let my emotions get the best of me. Hatred and anger have caused us to move further and further away from peace and understanding, and I am sorry I contributed to the negative discourse." Despite the apology, the incident left a lasting impression on the public and the media. Some questioned the sincerity of her remorse, while others debated the consequences of celebrities sharing polarizing political opinions. The controversy also placed Disney in a challenging position as the company had to navigate the fallout while preparing for the film's release. These events underscore the complexities that arise when public figures voice strong opinions, whether about classic films or political matters. Zegler's experiences reflect the delicate balance actors must maintain between personal expression and public perception, especially in an era where social media can amplify reactions instantaneously to make things worse. The trailer even got more than 67,000 dislikes. This incident highlights the challenges public figures face when expressing political opinions, as apologies may not always suffice to quell public discontent within Disney. Zegler's comments reportedly sparked international discussions about her role in the Snow White production. Concerns arose regarding the potential impact of the controversy on the film's success and Disney's brand image, while specific details of these discussions remain confidential. The situation underscores the delicate balance companies must maintain when their talent becomes embroiled in public disputes. The broader implications for Disney's brand are significant. The company has historically aimed to maintain a family-friendly image, steering clear of political controversies. Incidents like this challenge Disney to navigate the complexities of modern social and political landscapes, especially when its representatives' actions may alienate segments of its diverse audience. The situation with Zegler serves as a case study in how corporations handle controversies involving their talent, balancing creative expression with corporate values and audience expectations. What might have been just a few offhand comments in an interview got clipped, reshared, and debated endlessly online. A single tweet could spark hundreds of thousands of reactions, while hashtags like #CancelRachelZegler or #BoycottSnowWhite started trending, drawing even more attention to her words.
Every hour she has to wear the dress. I mean, talk about biting the hand that feeds you. Not only are you being casted in a classic film to remake it, but you don't seemingly like your own character, so she comes off as an insufferable, whiny brat.
It's wild how quickly things snowball on social media. Someone shares a video or quote, usually out of context, and before you know it, everyone has an opinion. That's exactly what happened here. Rachel's comments about the original Snow White film being creepy or labeling the princess a stalker went viral. People on one side were furious, accusing her of disrespecting a classic film, while others defended her, saying she was just bringing a fresh feminist perspective to an outdated story. The debate wasn't just confined to her fans or film buffs, it spread like wildfire to people who probably hadn't even heard of her before. And then there's the role of algorithms. Social media platforms are designed to push controversial content because it generates engagement, so if someone tweets something incendiary about Zegler, the platform makes sure it reaches as many people as possible. Suddenly it's not just about her comments, it becomes a battleground for broader issues like cancel culture, representation, and political correctness. And because these platforms thrive on outrage, the loudest and angriest voices often get amplified the most.
Mirror on the wall. Who's the fairest?
But here's the thing, social media isn't just a tool for spreading controversy, it also shapes how people perceive the issue. For instance, someone might only see a trending hashtag or a viral tweet without digging deeper into the context of what Zegler actually said. That's how narratives get distorted. One moment she's an actress sharing her thoughts on a fairy tale, and the next she's painted as a symbol of everything wrong or right, depending on who you ask, with Hollywood today. What are your thoughts on this? And please do let me know what video you want to see next.